Hey my glam girls, welcome back to my channel. It's Chelsea, and today I am so excited because we have the new Natasha Denona Bronze Palette as well as the Natasha Denona Bronze Cheek Face Glow Palette, and I am so excited to be reviewing these products today. So we're going to be, of course, I will be showing you a demonstration of both palettes. I will also be showing you comparisons and swatches of this palette compared to some other Natasha palettes that I do own, and also I'll be showing you some comparisons of the cheek palette to the other cheek palettes that she has come out with. So stay tuned till the end of the video for those swatch comparisons because I know you guys want to get right into the product, so I'll say that to the end of the video. But before we get into this video, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend some time with me. If this is your first time here, I would love for you to stick around and join the Glam Girls squad. And if you are a returning subscriber, well, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you for coming back and constantly supporting my channel with all of your likes and your comments. It really does mean a lot to me. So let's get into this video. So this is the bronze eyeshadow palette. Is she not stunning? I love me a good bronzy palette, and so when I saw this one I was like, it has to come home. I mean, it's not even a question. This palette does retail for $65, so this is going to be her more common now smaller pan of a eyeshadow palette. So if we were to compare this to the Sunset palette, this one is a little smaller. I am loving the size of these smaller palettes because I don't go through any eyeshadow palette at all. So I like that I'm getting still a great amount of product, but for also a cheaper price because the palette is half the price of her larger palettes. This is going to contain 15 brand new shades from Natasha, and she says that this is a go-to eyeshadow palette that's a summer essential. It's going to be free of parabens and it's going to be cruelty-free. With the range of formulas and textures from sultry, cream powder mattes to vibrant duochromes, metallics, and shimmers, this palette creates a variety of looks. It's the perfect complement to your summer glow, flattering every skin tone and texture. Moving on to the bronze face glow palette. So we had a little mishap. She came broken. This particular shade here was completely shattered when I opened it up, but I was able to kind of salvage it together. So this is what the palette looks like. This does retail for $55, and we are dealing with all 4 new shades as well in this. So this is a multi-use palette that enhances skin's natural beauty, also created free of parabens and cruelty-free. So this palette contains alluring bronzes, creamy tans, and incandescent champagnes, keeping your skin bronzed, blushed, and highlighted all day. It can be used on the cheeks, eyes, and lips for an all-around sun-kissed glow. So she's actually marketing this palette not only as a cheek palette, but an actual face palette, because she's saying that these shades can be used anywhere along the face. So we have the Bounce Cream Glow. That is going to be this shade right here, and this is a new formula that she has created within this particular palette. Then we have the Bounce Cream Blush. This is going to be the Super Glow Bronze, and then this is a new formula as well, her Super Glow Nude. So let's start off with this Cream Bounce Blush. So I'm gonna go in with my BK Beauty 107 brush, and we're just gonna dip this right into here. So I'm just gonna start applying this right here. All right, so this is a really nice kind of pinky nude, but I feel like I am getting a glow. So yeah, I'm getting a glow. Not necessarily a nude color on my cheeks, but a glow. So for me, I would consider this shade to be more like a cream highlight against my skin complexion. This does also come with a little plastic cover over the cream product so that the powder products here don't get into the cream products here. So I love that as well. Add this over here, and let me actually use my finger to see if this is something we can use with our fingers. So I think you can use it with your fingers, but in all honesty, I am preferring it with a brush. I feel like it's taking a little too long to like get it on there with my fingers. The cream is not really emollient, which I actually like. I don't like over emollient creams, but I think it just applies better with the brush, so that's what I'm gonna go for. I did set about this area of my face with powder. So this part of my face was not set with powder, but this portion of my face has been set with powder. And I don't see this cream product picking up any of the foundation or powder underneath, so that is good. Now let's go into the Bounce Cream Glow shade right here. This also is an iridescent, kind of champagne-y pink. And as you can see, or as you all saw from swatches, it looks kind of similar in shade to the Bounce Cream Blush. They're not identical, but they look kind of similar. Gonna go in with my Rephr P09 brush. But I do like this like pinky hue shift that we have going on here. And let's apply that right here. That's pretty. That's really pretty. So that's pretty. That's actually really pretty. Nice and glowy. Like I said, I like the pink shift that's going on. And I think that the pink shift would be good for lighter complexions because it's not going to necessarily look too dark against the skin. It looks like this shade is going to be pretty skin friendly across complexions because I feel like this shade would look great on deeper complexions, but I also think this shade would look really great against lighter complexions as well. Maybe even fairer complexions, not sure. But maybe, because the base of this particular shade is not too deep and it's not too strong. This is the Bounce Cream Glow shade, and as you can see, it doesn't have a really strong base. So I think it really is a good shade that could span a plethora of complexions. All right, let's go into this Super Glow Nude shade right here. So I'm gonna go in with the other side of the BK Beauty 107 brush. Let's add her like, ooh. I'm already in love. Kind of applying this all over that nude shade. I should have just done this whole cheek in the nude shade, but you all, ooh, she's cute. Oh, she is cute, y'all. Now this shade, if you are fair, I think this shade would be too deep against your skin, and you would probably best need to apply this on the eyes. Because it does have a very strong gold base. Maybe if you use just a little bit, maybe you could, maybe work it out if you really just concentrated it in one area. But I think this would better fit a fairer complexion on the eyes. Now for someone like myself, tan, my complexion, or deeper, gorgeous. This, I feel you could use it as a highlighter shade, or you could use it kind of like I have all over the cheeks, because if I wanted to just use this as kind of like my blush color and highlight, I feel like I can do that. Like, yeah, for sure. I'm looking, oh, she is cute. She real cute. Okay, now let's go into the Super Glow Bounce shade right here. And I'm going back in with my P09 brush, and we're gonna put that right along here. And this has even more of that bronzy glow. Ooh, she is so pretty. Now, if you did not want this particular shade to be as stark, as pigmented, go in with a less dense brush. So I'm going to go in with the Wayne Goss. This is the medium artist brush. This is composed of squirrel hair, and I feel like this is going to apply this more diffusely, so it's not going to be as intense. So I'm applying this to the bridge of my nose and up through the middle of my face. And I feel like that is looking more diffused than this is here, which for the demonstration of this, I'm fine. But if I were applying this in and of its own, I probably would go in with a brush like this. That's gonna give me more of a diffused look here, so it doesn't look as stark. But that is pretty. So I'm gonna bring you in and we'll do that. All right, guys, so I have primed my eyes with the Kaleidos Tone Activator Eye Primer, and I'm gonna give us 2 looks, okay? Let's go in with the BK Beauty 201 brush. All right, let's go in with Sundown first. Sundown is right here. let's go in with Ridge right here. And my Wayne Guys Artist Small Brush, I want to concentrate that right into the crease. Let's go into Deep Dive right here. And I'm going in with my Sonia G Worker Pro Brush, and I'm going to concentrate that shade right here. Going in with this shade called Rhodium right here, and same Sonia G brush, just flipping it over and packing that onto the center of the lid. I thought I wanted to add a gold shade right here, but I don't. I think I just want to take Rhodium and fill that all the way in here. Yep, that's what I want to do. I just want Rhodium to be on the lid. This shade is stunning. Ooh. Rhodium is gorgeous. Going back in with Deep Dive and my Sonia G Pencil Pro Brush, and we're going to concentrate that along the lower lash line and keeping that along the outer edge of the lower lash line. And then going back in with the shade Rhodium, filling in that extra space along the lower lash line toward the inner corner of the eye. Then going in with the shade Silk and using that as an inner corner highlight. Okay, one eye down, the other one to go. My BK Beauty 201 brush, and let's go in with the shade called Suntan right there. Let's take her all through the crease, just like so. And going in with my Wayne Guys Small Artist brush, and with the shade called Magma right here. And we're gonna concentrate this into the crease. Going back in with the shade Magma and my Sonia G Crease Pro brush, I'm going to deposit this shade along the lower lash line and flick it out as well. Wayne Guys Small Artist brush, and just blending this out. Going in with my BK Beauty 205 brush, let's go in with the shade called High Degree. I just want to pack a little bit of this shade right here in the center of the eye. And going in with my Wayne Guys 26S brush, and going in with the shade called Bliss and filling in the rest of the eye. Oh, the shade looks scrumptious. It just, oh, do you see that duochrome? Wait, do y'all see that? Hold on. Can you see the duochrome effect? You see this pink color, then you see this green color. Oh, honey. Come on, eye look. This shade is better than I thought. We're gonna start off with Magma right here for the very outer edge of the lower lash line. And I'm not gonna bring it too far in. We're just gonna really keep it right here. Then I'm gonna go in with the shade called Gloaming right here, and I want to place that in the middle portion of the lower lash line. Oh, that's pretty. Let's go in with True Copper right here, and we will bring that along the lower lash line toward the inner corner. Ooh, that is pretty. This is like a fire. This is like a true copper color. For inner corner, let's go with Alloy right here. And if you all know me, you know I like a matte cream highlight. So let's go in with the shade called Beach right here. And I would like to take this along the brow bone for both eye looks. Ooh, that is so pretty. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish off the eyes and come back for final thoughts and then some comparisons, so stay tuned. And this, guys, is the finished look with the eyes and the face, and let me just say, I am so here for this collection. So, I love me a bronzy look anyway, so when I saw this eyeshadow palette, I was like, I'm not 100% sure I'm gonna like it. And then I thoroughly enjoy Natasha's cheek palettes. So when I saw this one as well, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna like this one too. Let's get into my final thoughts, then some comparisons. So this new Bounce Cream Blush formula, I think it's nice. It's definitely not a emollient cream, which I am glad about. Like I said earlier, I don't really like that. The color payoff is very soft and smooth. So I think these creams are great for people who really don't like a great deposit of color. They like something that's very soft and blendable. And I don't think you get as much high shine from them as you do her original cream formula. So I'm going in with the Love palette and I'm gonna swatch the Glow Cream base. And this one definitely feels more sticky. And I feel like you get a little bit more shine from the traditional her Glow Cream base than you do these two, this Bounce Cream formula. I'll just swatch one more for you. Once again, not so much for color, but more so just for comparisons of texture. Here is the cream formula from the Tan Bronze and Glow. So here's the Love Glow Cream Palette, Tan Bronze and Glow, and then these are the two Bounce Cream formulas in the new Bronze palette. And as you can see, they're just so much more muted in tone, not as pigmented and vibrant as the original cream formula. So I think that is great for people who might, first of all, I think it's great for fairer complexions because you can wear these two shades and not feel overwhelmed by the amount of color that you get. But like I said in my demo, I feel like these two shades also work well for medium tan and deeper complexions because you just use those as a highlight. They don't look ashy, they don't look chalky. And I love, like I said, that the base is a little bit more transparent. So it's going to be suitable for an array of complexions. So I think she did really well with that. The Super Glow Nude shade right here, and then the Super Glow Bronze shade right here. First of all, this powder is silky smooth. Actually, both of them are just so smooth to the touch. For the Tan Bronze and Glow, because I'm pretty sure some of us are like, is there any similarity in the two? I really do not think there is similarity in the two, just from looking at them. I'm going to do another video just comparing the two, so I don't want to spend too much time there, but just off the cusp, looking at them, there really is not a comparison in shades, and I also don't think there is a comparison in formula as well. So I feel like if you like the Tan Bronze and Glow and you're interested in the Bronze palette, I don't feel like you're going to get repetitive shades. Now, do you need this if you have the Tan Bronze and Glow? I feel like if you have the Tan Bronze and Glow and you're like, is this Bronze palette different enough for me to get it? I do feel like it is different enough for you to get it. And I think the formula of the powder products in the Bronze palette is so much more smooth than the formula in the Tan Bronze and Glow. I mean, off the back, yeah, you don't need to have both, especially if you really like this one, you're kind of like, oh, that doesn't look like it's appealing to me, then I would say skip this one. But I don't think you're gonna repeat the shades in both of these palettes if you get both. That's what I'm saying. Okay, on to the eyeshadow palette. I think the eyeshadow palette is phenomenal. I love both of these eye looks that I created. I think they just look beautiful. First of all, this shade Bliss, I was not ready for this duochrome. Looking at it in the pan, you just see Bliss is right here. Looking at it in the pan, you just see pink, right? You don't see any hints of green or duochrome. And then you swatch it and you're like, whoa, where did you come from? And this shade Rhodium is right here. I live for this shade. Now, if you know anything about Natasha's formula, especially with these medium-sized palettes, she started coming out with this creamy matte formula that some of us love and some of us cannot stand at all. And from my experience, there are two creamy matte formulas from what I can tell. This shade right here, which is Rhodium, and then Deep Dive right here. I was looking between Natasha's website and Sephora. I couldn't, like, it wasn't clearly specified which shades were the creamy mattes, but just comparing those two shades to the other palettes that I have and those creamy matte formulas, I think those are the only two that we have in here. The mattes blend out beautifully. I think the mattes are just, they blended out so well. I didn't have any skipping areas of my eye that were hard to blend with the mattes that I use. And I used all of the mattes in this palette. So to me, all of the mattes blend really beautifully. These shimmers though, pigment is out of this world. I mean, one swipe, full on pigment. This palette is a winner for me. A true winner. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And like I said, I already know this is going to be sitting right up here so that I can definitely pick it up. I think it's beautiful. So let's get into some comparisons, because I have with me the Natasha Denona Love palette, the Sunrise palette, the Sunset palette, the Gold palette, and then her mini nude palette. So just looking at the palettes in general and comparing them to this one, I felt like I saw right off the back more similar shades in the mini nude palette with also the bronze palette. So this shade, and I'm going to try to go through this so quickly, guys, because I already know this video is going to be long and y'all are not here for long videos. The shade Magma from the bronze palette and Soil from the mini nude palette. And so as you can see, Soil definitely has more of a brown burgundy texture to it, whereas Magma, in my opinion, has more of that red burgundy to it. This is, if I could say, a deeper burgundy, a brown burgundy. This shade from the mini nude, and Beach, which is this shade from the bronze palette. This is Beach from the bronze palette, and this is Coin, I don't know how to say that word, from the mini nude. They almost look identical. I would say though that Beach has a little bit more warmth to it than the shade from the mini nude palette, but they really do look very similar. So here we have Bronze Age from mini nude and Silk from the bronze eyeshadow palette. You guys, those look identical. I mean, identical. I'm looking at them and I mean, if I had to, there is, Bronze Age is just slightly deeper than Silk, but they look very, very close. 3 out of the 5 shades from the mini nude, I think, look very similar to the bronze eyeshadow palette. We've got the bronze palette and the gold palette from Natasha. And looking at them, I really don't see too many similarities just right off the back. The other shadows in this bronze palette, this gold palette, especially the shimmers, they really are gold, versus the shimmers in the bronze palette, they are more bronze. So I think if you have the gold palette, you definitely aren't getting any repetitive shades from the bronze one. Sunset palette. So here we've got them side by side. And once again, I don't think there's really any harsh similarities between the two. Glooming from bronze palette, and then Atmosphere from the Sunset palette. So these two shades, although they're a little similar, Gloaming definitely has, I would say, more of a red tone to it. This one looks like it's more of like a pinky red, if I will say that. But the shades, these two shades, I looked at them and I was like, they could be similar. Sort of similar, but not too similar. It's Abaid from Sunset, and then this is Silk, and this is True Bronze. Looking at the 3 shades, I would say they look similar. True Bronze is definitely more of this, it's more of like an eyeshadow topper formula. It's definitely got a more glitter component to it, not nearly as opaque as is it a bod or a beige from Sunset, and then Silk from Bronze. But in color though, they do look quite similar when swatched next to each other. So here is Palladium from the Bronze palette, and this is Bronze Age from the Sunset palette. So Palladium definitely looks more of like a muted type of bronze versus Bronze Age looks a little bit more brighter, like it has some more, like it has a little bit more gold into it. And those are all the comparisons that I can see from the Sunset palette. Now on to Sunrise. Holding Sunrise and Bronze together. The magnets are definitely trying to repel each other, but this is what both of them look like next to each other. And looking at them, they don't look right off the back similar, but I do see a couple of shades that I think could be similar. Here is Phlox from Sunrise, and then High Degree from the Bronze eyeshadow palette. So Phlox definitely is more of like a vibrant red. I would say that High Degree is more of a muted burgundy compared to Phlox. Here is Azalea and Gloaming from the Bronze eyeshadow palette. So not totally the same. Azalea's got this duochrome shift to it, whereas Gloaming, it has a duochrome shift to it, but not, the tones of the shades are not the same in terms of their duochromes. This is Aster from Sunrise. This is Rhodium from Bronze. Definitely not the same at all, but I wanted to swatch them because I wanted to see them next to each other. Actually, both of these would make a stunning eye look. We've got to do that. And that is it from Sunrise. Lastly is the Love eyeshadow palette. I really don't think there's really any similarity between the two, especially just holding them up next to each other. I don't really see too much of a comparison at all. So here is Commitment. This shade definitely, this is Commitment from Love. The shade, it's not my favorite because it skips so much. And then here is Deep Dive from Bronze. This one, I remember Natasha described Deep Dive as a brown eggplant color. Commitment looks more of like a true eggplant color. And I will say, I felt like when I blended out Deep Dive on the outer edge of this eye, it blended so much better than Commitment blends when I use it. It definitely just skips around a lot more. Both of these are that creamy matte formula, but I feel like the creamy matte formula in the Bronze eyeshadow palette is better. It really is better in my opinion because there was no skipping. Rhodium, like I said, Rhodium and Deep Dive from the Bronze eyeshadow palette, they are creamy matte formulas from what I can tell in terms of texture. And I feel like they blended so much more effortlessly than the creamy mattes within this Love palette. And guys, that is it. I'm exhausted, but I really hope that you found this video helpful. I recommend both of these palettes. I know that just from some of you guys' comments that you've made on my Instagram posts, some of you all were like, I don't know about the face palette. I don't know about the eyeshadow palette. I think the face cheek palette is gorgeous. I think it's beautiful, and I'm really glad that I have it. And I would highly recommend it to you. But this Bronze eyeshadow palette, gorgeous. I do not feel like if you get this particular eyeshadow palette, you're getting any repetitive shades to the point where it's like, no, I don't need it. Now, do you need this eyeshadow palette? You honestly don't need it, especially if you love bronzy eyeshadows, because you probably already have these shades and other palettes. But I do feel like in terms of formula, this palette is so beautiful. I think this palette is probably one of the better formulas amongst this size of her eyeshadow palettes. That's just my own opinion, but especially between the Love, I think between the Love and Sunrise, this particular eyeshadow palette has the better formula. All in all, totally and completely happy with both of these palettes, and I highly recommend both of them. So let me know your thoughts down below as to what you think of both of these palettes. Let me know if you're thinking about picking them up or if you're going to pick them up. And of course, I'll have everything linked down below as to what's on my face and these two palettes. And that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.